Hello everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Simple Muslim Money, and on this podcast we look at simple investing and personal finance for Muslims. So in today's episode I'm going to actually be talking about inflation, which is something that I've sort of talked about before, and one of the questions that I always had when I was young was, okay, why do I need to invest? Can't I just save money in a bank account? And is it investing risky? Is it not very dangerous? But the real key thing to know about, and especially now where there's a war going on with Ukraine and Russia at the moment, and the prices of things are going up just because there's lots of supply issues and for various other sort of issues. So because of that, it's very important that we kind of understand inflation. So one of the things I like to talk about is, I've mentioned before, when I was a kid, like a can of Coca-Cola used to cost about 30p. Now it's like £1. So even if I was saving money, the value of that money has gone down. And also at the moment, like petrol as well has gone up really high. So petrol, or gas as they call it in the US, they used to fill up your car. That's gone up like massively as well. So the cost of, filling up your car has gone up. So just by saving money, it's actually kind of losing value because your money is going to be worth less. You're kind of basing it on prices from before. So that's what made me realize that, I need to kind of really think about investing. And I heard a saying from someone saying how that cash is trash. And it doesn't mean, cash is rubbish that you kind of just put in the bin, but it's just that by just holding money in a bank account, it's not working for you. It's not doing anything for you. And it's actually kind of losing value. So it's so important to make some work on it, make that money work. I think for Muslims especially, like we think about money and we think about saving and things like that. However, we don't know how to invest it generally. I mean, I'm putting like a big assumption out there, but I'm just saying from my point of view, how do you actually kind of invest money? I was kind of really stuck on that. And I was kind of really scared, to be honest with you, about how, I might be losing money. Is this like a really dangerous and risky thing to do? But generally, it's very important that we learn about personal finance, we learn about investing, and just put some money away, because we want that money to be there for us in the longer term. Now, I just want to put a disclaimer out there, which I have to, is that I'm not a financial advisor, so any information that I tell you is just purely for my own opinion and just for entertainment purposes. But generally what I did was I just invested a little bit of money regularly, even just £5 a month, or $5, like a really small amount, just to kind of get into that habit of investing, and just putting a little bit of skin in the game. And it just kind of forces you to kind of think about what investing is, and kind of gets you a bit more comfortable. When I started doing that, I got really sort of comfortable with it. And and I think the other big roadblock for me was, what do I actually invest in? Can Muslims invest in products out there? And that is a very important question, and there are actually lots of ways now for Muslims to invest. There are lots of investment products out there that are geared towards Muslims, that are based on sort of halal companies and things like that. And one of the things that people need to be aware of is it's not about investing in a particular company, like Amazon or Facebook or things like that. One of the things that was a big revelation for me was there's something called index funds, and index funds perform really well in the long term. And what it is you just put your money into this fund, and it just kind of allocates your money across the top companies, and the companies that it allocates it to is known as an index. And Warren Buffett, who's like the best investor ever, he kind of just recommends most people do that. So that's what I've been doing. I've also been kind of doing a lot of research within the financial independence, retire early community. A lot of these people kind of invest in index funds. But what I realized was there's an index fund specifically geared towards Muslims. So I invest in the HSBC Global Equity Index Fund, and I just kind of put my money into it, and I just kind of set it and kind of forget about it. So there are definitely lots of ways for Muslims to invest. And this is something I've kind of spoken loads about on my YouTube channel, but now I'm kind of going into a bit more detail in a podcast. And inflation is the thing that we kind of need to almost kind of work towards. And so I talked about investing as well. The other way to kind of invest is also set up some sort of side business, side hustle. You could have your full-time job, you could also do some bits on the side as well. And it's what I've realized that it's very important for me to kind of look into different ways to make money and build up like extra sort of income. And also on top of that as well is like passive income as well. So I know a lot of people think passive income exist. But if you can put a lot of work in initially, so I'm actually kind of building an affiliate site using like social media as well, and I'll be kind of talking about that on this podcast as well. And so that's one of the reasons why I have kind of moved away from these kind of individual YouTube clips, YouTube videos that I've been doing on my channel, just because they take a lot more time to edit. Whereas this podcast is kind of a lot easier for me to edit. I can just kind of, I'm just recording direct into my computer, and I can kind of put up these podcast episodes. And yeah, and I'm hoping to put up a lot more of these as well. And yeah, I kind of really enjoy it as well. And I plan to get some guests as well. But yeah, again, I just want to focus about inflation. It's like when people think, I don't want to invest, inflation, that is the main reason why we need to invest. And people say, inflation is just 2% a year or something. But I was listening to a podcast once, and the person was talking about, you look at house prices. I mean, they've gone up more than like sort of 2% a year. They've gone up massively. During my time when I was young and my parents bought their first place, property was about 10, 20, 30,000 pounds in London. Now that same property is probably like, 800, 900,000 pounds. So, that's just inflation for you. Now, if you put your money towards work, so that make it work, so that's like some sort of business or some sort of investing, then, that money will grow, and, you're kind of building value. And the other thing is the compound effect as well. So, money will build on top of each other. I'll be kind of talking about these sort of things as well in the coming episodes and things that I do. I'll also be talking about some sort of other sort of businesses and things that I've kind of looked into and tried. But I'm also very keen to get other people on this podcast. I think it's really important for like other Muslims just to share how they're doing businesses and kind of spread that knowledge as well. And I think, Muslims need to talk more about money. I don't think we talk about it enough. So yeah, I'm very excited to do that. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I will catch you next time.